Akali, Samira, Olaf, and Pantheon rounded out the other bands alongside Talia. Lilia up, of course. Renekton up, of course, if Golden Guardians want to go that route. Quite a lot of options here, depending on how the teams do want to approach this game. Don't think we'll be seeing that one, Niles. Thanks, though. But you never know. Could be getting spicy.
There's a couple different directions you can try and go for. Renekton, Kaisa have become notorious, especially a lot of AD carry players. In addition to Kaisa being in a very strong state right now, I know that just talking to them, they have so much more fun and are passionate about playing Kaisa because you truly do get to embody the ult name, the killer instinct now with Gale Force, you also having the execute. It really does put you in a position to make those highlight plays. And Stixxay has done a very good job with all these young players around him thus far in Golden Guardians. I think he's been performing extremely well, which has gone kind of under the radar considering the surprise that everyone else has with all the other players' performances. But this is a pretty good core here. You get your safe Syndra for mid lane and paired with the Kaisa.
Yeah, I almost feel like Stixxay feels a bit more revitalized, at some point. He's changed teams. He was on CLG for so long. He won a title and then did well at MSI and then kind of stagnated a little, never really got back to similar heights. And on this team, again, he is the veteran alongside Newbie, actually, who's got experience from the LLA, to kind of carry these rookies on the top side through and develop this team, this developmental team that Golden Guardians have. Kirby's cheering for something. He's cheering for Graves.
Is Ivern Hover?
Oh, it's Ivern for.
Because I've been abusing Ivern in my rank climb at the beginning of rank season. I think he's insane right now, partially because he's one of the champions that does rush Moonstone Renewer, one of the mythics that's been getting a lot of attention lately. It is going to be the Graves, though, locked in. And again, we see another one of these Nidalee Graves matchups where it's not an overwhelming advantage in the Nidalee's favor, but it is the slight edge because Graves doesn't have magic resist anymore on True Grit, taken out quite a long time ago. And I do like the setup from Nidalee with a little bit better for the brush control. Considering the overall comp here too, they do have quite a few options. And you can see Golden Guardians don't want to let Alphari have one of these hard carry smash lane champions. I think it's wise to be wary of Alphari right now. This guy has been smashing, picked up right where he left off as soon as he came over here into NA. And Niles also likes to play carries, so you don't want to have to be facing a Renekton if you're a carry player as well. If you want to get your hands on something like the GP again. I know Niles has been known in the past as a GP one trick and has said himself that it's one of his favorite champions and he is the best at it. So we shall see if that also finds its way up here.
It's a very measured way of putting Niles' opinion of his own Gangplank out there, but I agree.
Yeah, he's like, he thinks it's the best. So
He is very confident in his Gangplank skills. Let's put it that way, as Yone and Renekton going to be the two bands on the GG side. Two supports, Leona and Alistar, two of the bigger ones being taken off the board by Team Liquid here. CoreJJ has a very deep pocket still when it comes to champions, so he'll be happy. And of course, he already has Thresh, so he doesn't even need to worry about it. Curious if maybe Newbie wants to play something like Rel, which we have seen get banned in a number of games, but not every team seems to play her. Nautilus instead, which has also been pretty effective the few times we've seen it as well. Most notably, Joey actually looking really good on that one.
Yeah, and Kaisa Nautilus is one of the oldest combos here, so good at setting up CC for it. I will say, though, playing that into the Thresh, into CoreJJ's Thresh, every game that Team Liquid have played, Tactical and CoreJJ have 2v2 first blood killed the opponent bottom lane. And they have done it, I'm pretty sure, before like 3.5 minutes even in both games. So be very ready. This is actually the Aphelios Thresh though, so it doesn't have the same, all-in kill pressure like, of course, the Samira lane that they ran. But that being said, CoreJJ is playing extremely well. His synergy with Tactical has built up so much that you still have to definitely be worried about that. With the Orianna lock-in for Jensen, definitely not a surprise. Very, very common matchup into the Syndra. You need a couple of extra points in your W for Orianna to really take control of the minion wave. Early on, Syndra does have the range advantage because your spheres with 800 range plus the extra little AoE of it gets to do a little bit of harassment.
Well, if you're wondering, definitely not laughing Kobe. His points are excellent as always. I just love that Alphari's taking Gangplank here. He's like, hey, Niles, you think you're the best GP in NA? Let's see. Let's see what you got as a counter pick, actually. Oh, Ornn really reaching deep for the carries there as Niles
got him,
go
countered.
on the tank instead.
Honestly, yeah, I do like this look though. Golden Guardians taking the route of the team fight rather than the 1v1. Niles showing some humility right here versus Alphari. This is going to be interesting, though, to see how far Alphari can actually push, because I do like this top side look for them. I do expect Armao to establish control towards the top quadrant of the map. That being said, of course, playing off CoreJJ's playmaking ability is always an option for them, too, so it's not super one-dimensional. It just does lend itself towards that area of the map, because GP can basically grind out gold versus an Ornn.
I think the other thing is, like, you know, we talked a lot about Graves, I think, today and just in general throughout the weekend. And you like Graves, and I think I agree. Like, Graves is very powerful. Gale Force is extremely good as an item. So fitting it into as many champions as you can feels like a pretty good strategy given the current state of the game. But you do need to make sure Graves has, you know, enough friends, enough people to set him up, because he doesn't bring anything other than damage really out of the jungle. And I think as far as setup goes for Golden Guardians, lots of different ways in every lane to kind of give Iconic the help he needs to try and carry through the early game. And if Golden Guardians are going to take this game up against Team Liquid, Iconic's going to need to continue to play at the level he's shown already in the first few days.
Gonna need another 25 KDA out of you. Keep it up. Great work so far, but now you have to go against Team Liquid. Definitely a tall task as they have spent big. Exciting to see how this turns out too, because as of right now, you know, and with Team Liquid dropping their game earlier, it's just EG at the top of the ranks here as the only undefeated team still left standing. Again, this is just the group stages though, so it's only going to matter for your positioning moving towards that knockout stage.
I think 100 Thieves, though, with their win over TL earlier today, did show, like, the blueprint for TL is kind of the same it's always been. If you can get ahead early and just keep snowballing, you can beat a team like TL, even though the individual skill and how they convert around objectives, especially mid to late, is so powerful. For Golden Guardians, though, I think a great test about how, you know, how this roster is looking. We've seen the individual talent. We've seen that they are very good at early games and do seem to have some of the older Golden Guardians identity where they want to get ahead early and then convert from there. The old Guardians roster that did that turned into 100 Thieves, who look very good already. And I think, like, the fact that you've already gotten to this point where you can show the skills of your players, you show you can get leads, and maybe you're still working on the things like team synergy and mid to late game and macroing a lot cleaner, already a great sign here. But again, you have a big test here as newbie. Is going to meet Jensen here. Does get the hook down. Iconic looking to maybe move forward, but Jensen's going to move out of the way to relative safety.
Interesting, he sacrifices basically 100, now even more HP to stop that recall there for Iconic and Newbie, who aren't really going to feel any sort of that. So Jensen's going to start a little bit down versus a Syndra, which definitely can be dangerous. Both of them chugging Corrupting Potions immediately to try and trade more. I think that does slightly favor Olive here, as he's going to be the aggressor early on. And neither of the junglers is, you know, super frightening as far as bringing crowd control to that setup. So Orianna and Nidalee isn't something he's going to have to, you know, hold himself back against, and can continue to try and go for aggressive trades.
All right, I was holding my breath for a second because I remembered your first blood stat from TL.
Yeah. Oh, we see Tactical and CoreJJ on screen. They might be looking to kill.
I mean, they're waiting in the bush, maybe seeing if Stixxay newbie would do something silly early on. Trades here for Niles onto Alphari, looking not too bad, but Alphari, ooh, that first grass proc is real meaty. Niles is going to look to maybe turn it back around. This is getting close. Alphari going to be the first to hit the flash key, though.
That is why you kite back to your minion wave. Range minions early on do so much damage because basically your 1Q as well as your auto attacks is the only calculation that these guys have to take into account. So it's very easy to see the damage coming. And the thing that most often actually swings those fights is the extra minion damage there. So Niles knows that he's got the upper hand, kiting back to those triple range minions, helping him out there. He holds on to his flash, and Alphari has to abort the aggressive play that... Ooh.
Nice hook. Newbie going to get plucked out from under the tower briefly by CoreJJ, and Tactical is getting this wave shoved in behind LCS right now for Stixxay, but I imagine that will change as the minions move towards the tower.
Zoning in.
They can pick those up. Certainly are. AblazeOlive and Jensen definitely a matchup to keep watch of. It's so far so good for AblazeOlive. Another big test. I mean, in general, this is, you know, TL are always a terrifying opponent to try and play up against. So if you're looking to test, especially your individual ability early on in a season, Team Liquid's a pretty good team to go up against.
Definitely true. Early teleport does come back here for Alphari after the aggressive trading, just with the longsword refilling his corrupting potion so he can continue to try and play aggressively. I always love seeing Gangplanks try and abuse their passive early on in the lane phase. Should be something that you try and keep up as often as possible, going for that harassment, especially if you can track the enemy junglers. With Armao spending his time towards the bottom Scuttle Crab, though, and giving up the top one to Iconic, Alphari is going to have to temper that aggression. No flash, no teleport for him.
Yep, there is that crab going down. Iconic collects 77 gold. Jensen also walking back to lane soon. Not there yet. The cannon wave, though, is always a nice time to go back, but he used all his mana, it looks like, to reset the wave here. So AblazeOlive will temporarily be ahead in CS, but right now he's just trying to deny off as many as he can, because knows Jensen wants to TP back right away.
Yeah, I always love the Syndra side of the matchup early on for this, especially if you're facing something that doesn't bring crowd control from the jungle, like you're saying. So AblazeOlive can go for these aggressive trades, trying to harass Jensen while finishing up the CS. But as you get more and more levels into your W for Orianna, you get more and more wave control, and that's why the teleport is expended around your level 4, level 5 here for Jensen on his tier back, corrupting potion plus biscuits. He's got lots of sustain for himself, and it's just up to Armao to keep a little bit of vision on one side and continue tracking Graves to make sure that the Orianna can continue to scale here.
Really nice from Jensen there. Knowing it, looking for that recall, just such a nuisance to have it cancelled. So Jensen going to go ahead and do that because AblazeOlive is out of mana. Does have the TP, so probably going to be committing that to come back to the wave, but Jensen's going to get a chance to deny a couple of the minions off as well, as AblazeOlive does indeed commit the teleport to come back to lane. So
and right
early
there,
trading here for the mid laners.
Right there, you're creating a situation that doesn't look tense at all because there's no camera movement. You know, it's just him going right back to lane. But whenever, well, okay.
Ooh, good hook from newbie. Stixxay forced to cleanse off there. Tactical CoreJJ continuing to bring the beat down. Ooh, gravity gun after the flay. Means newbie takes a lot more damage.
So just the cleanse down, definitely a low cooldown summoner spell, but keeping them under their tower with the extra minion wave here opens up Armao, you know, to finish up this dragon. They know with Graves up on top side finishing Krugs, that should be the easy objective for them. Tactical CoreJJ have just been so insanely reliable, and getting control over bottom side has such big rewards here. Because there is no Rift Herald this early on. So it's not like you're even giving anything up on the top side. Yes, Alphari does have to play a little bit more cautiously, knowing that he doesn't have flash, but it's not going to cost him anything as he intelligently just levels his ult, immediately uses it on the wave, and goes for the safe recall. I love that play from Alphari. You know, we always talk about how aggressive he plays lane and his big laning stats, but it's also really impressive how you avoid possibilities of a strong side from your opponents up by you. Knowing that Graves is probably up there since you're overloading bottom side, not overextending, you know, letting Ornn have a few waves of the minions right at his tower, not as big a deal as possibly dying there for the Gangplank. So intelligent use already, even though we haven't had a kill yet.
Yeah, we did see that pressure kind of move further down to the bottom side. Armao was, I believe, down there looking to maybe chance a tower dive. So Stixxay and newbie did play respectfully. Also, Niles took the minions on like a little merry-go-round in the top lane. But I'm sure that's going to be broken relatively soon. I think already has, actually, as Alphari is back to lane nice and happily with the Sheen finished. Feeling just fine here as the GP. Big wave here in mid lane here for Jensen. He's going to have to reverse that, but shouldn't be too tricky as we have a look at the total gold right now. Unsurprisingly, it is Tactical at the top of the leaderboard. AblazeOlive actually right behind him, which is a good look for him, but Tactical again alongside CoreJJ has just been such a consistent force. Even in the game they lost versus 100 Thieves against one of, if not the best current bottom lanes in the LCS, they still got first blood at level 1.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that we're seeing the Aphelios come back. I know people memed on this champion for many, many years, but at the start of this tournament, I was talking to Primo a lot, and he's really been missing out on not seeing the Aphelios in the first couple days. Since then, we have had quite a decent amount of it. I really feel like the champion did well in the off season. After the little buffs to his ultimate they just got and the changes to the items, it feels so nice. Oh, here we go.
Good snipe from CoreJJ.
No damage.
Here, as well.
Here we go. Aphelios is in the river.
AblazeOlive did get Jensen. But Niles also looking kind of low here. He's going to run into Alphari. Ooh, Ornn ulti. This is actually going to be a 1v1 attempt here for Niles because there's no one here to help him, but the damage is good. Alphari getting low. He does have the flash. It doesn't have to burn it just yet. Niles commits the ulti, but can't quite complete the kill.
Sent him a message, though. Nice little combo there. Is going to also free up this possible Rift Herald. Armao's coming over, but they did lose track of positioning on newbie. I think if he cancels this recall, they'll be fine. They can finish it up here because they've got the extra person advantage. You see bottom side, CoreJJ is working to pressure on the tower, and it just comes down to possible smite steal.
Yeah, back to the scries. Bloom there for newbie just to get some vision onto Armao. So Penguin does dab it out as Iconic indeed collects the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, Stixxay has been zoned very far away from this tower, thanks to this extended roam, I guess, extended by the cancel in some ways. And as always, some things about Aphelios have not changed, and certainly the spinning blades of turret death continue to exist as the first tower, and a big chunk of gold are going to go over to Tactical.
Yeah, and it does look like, oh man, the Golden Guardians gave up so much for going for that Rift Herald, but they were already getting abused quite heavily under the tower. And so you're kind of in a tough situation anyway, and they make the call to say, okay, we're actually just going to give up the entire first turret bonus with the extra turret plates here and exchange it for the Rift Herald by sending newbie up there. I still think they could have held out on the bottom side and kept them off, considering the last couple plates are the strongest. Top side, though, looking at a possible dive.
Yeah, didn't spot Jensen with this roam. Very well timed there, and there's a shockwave is good. Niles does get the knockup, but the GP ult is down, and first blood, 10 minutes in, is going to go to Jensen. Oh, Iconic, though, finds it, even with the flash. Collateral damage, indeed, as Jensen will fall. Now Alphari in trouble as Iconic continuing.
Man walking.
Kobe. Ooh, the alcove, though, does keep Alphari safe, with Iconic not quite able to get the double.
All right, CoreJJ going to try and make some quick moves over to the mid. Doesn't get the Ganon minion for himself. Interesting pickup there, as it was the flash still. Jensen flashed in a line. So you still get the explosion for Graves with your ultimate at the end, and the extended damage killed him anyway. You have to flash perpendicular versus the Graves ultimate if you want to try and live that scenario. So Jensen losing the summoner spell plus the gold over to Iconic. Definitely the big carry for Golden Guardians. Regardless, though, I think Team Liquid still shrugged that one off. They've got a ginormous gold lead, largely, obviously, in part to Tactical and CoreJJ's work on the bottom side, and the sacrifice that Golden Guardians made in order to get that Rift Herald play for topside. Here's another look at it, though. Jensen starts it out as the range champion, knows that he can tank it, no problem. He's not in danger, tanks the extra shot. But here, even though seeing it, it was very close to even the end of the explosion range there, so maybe he thought he was going to fully outrange even the balloon at the end. Regardless, Dragon will be started up. Teleports only available here for Niles to join. Golden Guardians would have to sacrifice some top turret plates if they wanted to do that.
Oh, I really thought that was going to go the other way, but Iconic does secure it with the smite. Yeah, as you mentioned, Alphari had already used it earlier and TP'd up to lane, so wasn't able to join there. So Golden Guardians, by all accounts, should have gotten that Drake, and one Nidalee spear aside, they do indeed get it.
All right, see if Team Liquid can continue to push this ahead, because when your bottom side is taken so early like that, it actually lends a lot of power to the threat with these Gangplank ultimates. So I expect the next one here for Alphari to be saved. You kind of use that cooldown as a threat to your opponents for the side wave control, because you have a lot of options with it. You can either turn around attempted picks on people in the long lane, or you can rush through a minion wave by just GP ulting the minion wave and trying to make the big objective play to gain basically 30 seconds of time, where your Gangplank ultimate annihilates the minion wave, allowing you to make the early step, you know, setting up the vision for CoreJJ and Armao to pull off a Thresh Nidalee possibility for one of those plays. So you see already Jensen pushing up the side wave and the full control here with the deep wards inside the blue quadrant of the jungle of Golden Guardians. Team Liquid really taking away any of the big threats here of those picks from the side of Golden Guardians.
All right, well, two things to notice here. As Iconic, actually, it was both of them that I was going to mention here. Number one is that the Rift Herald was running out, so Iconic did have to actually drop it in the base and is going to move down towards mid, but very slowly. The other is that he's actually gone Immortal Shield Bow, which is different from the Gale Forces we've seen on, I think, every other Grave so far on the LCS. Obviously, Shield Bow, still good on ADs. We've seen on a couple different AD champions already, probably most notably Samira, but definitely a different look here for Graves in this game.
Yeah, it gives you so much more tankiness, and it gives you the lifesteal super early on too. I think he's worried about, possible mid-range damage with the Gangplank.
Newbie gonna get sniped perhaps there. The ulti is out from CoreJJ, but he's not taking enough damage to go down. It's Tactical that will get that kill, but Niles is here. They get one. The shockwave does hit, but Niles finds two with the ulti there as Tactical's forced to flash out of the way. They need to kill the Aphelios though, and they're not able to do so, so Tactical's just gonna rip through the rest of the Golden Guardians. Jensen, the one to secure the last hit, is Iconic battling Armao here, but Jensen is in support, and even with the shield bow, I don't think Iconic is gonna be able to get out of this one, but still gonna maybe get the Nidalee. It's gonna be awfully close. Iconic, he wants it. He needs to keep the KDA alive. He slides over the wall to safety. AblazeOlive's in there. Flash R is enough for the kill. Nice and easily as Alphari going to move into the ring. Oh, great barrel chain there. Attacks AblazeOlive. Stun not quite connecting. Alphari going to flash in instead to make sure he can finish off the Syndra. 1 Q needed. Barrel is out, and AblazeOlive surely going to be left for dead here in the alcove, and that is it. Last Q there as Alphari is going to grab the last kill of that exchange.
And in scenarios like that, you got to look, as soon as they're chasing someone down, where can they push on quickly? Because there is a lot of standing gold for them to take. 2 outer towers on the top side of the map still standing, so Team Liquid immediately try and push in these waves to get their resets off for themselves, as we do have a Drake incoming in 1 minute and 45 seconds, as well as the arrival of Rift Herald number 2 ready. So Alphari just keeping pressure on bottom side. You get the minion wave all the way in, and already the extra control wards have been bought by CoreJJ, moving up here on the Thresh to try and lay the stakes to pick up Rift Herald number 2.
Alrighty, Jensen swoops in towards the top side of the map. Niles is going to be met here. As CoreJJ also roaming up. Early shockwave there for Jensen to keep him in place. Niles does have the flash, but it's 3v1 here on the top side of the map. Outer tower, not going to save you. Niles too far forward, gets picked up by Armao.
And that's what these early resets off that fight actually gets you. While they're picking up the extra straggler kill, the early recall, CoreJJ comes back out, mobility boots and control wards in hand, immediately makes a play for the team. Nice job there by Jensen setting up with the shockwave, as Niles was getting pretty greedy at that tower, not respecting the recall timer there. Possibly because of the extra time spent on chasing down that kill, but it is going to be off of that. Multiple objectives. One greedy stay here by the Ornn turns into not just a kill, but 2 objectives. Tower plus Rift Herald number 2 going into their hands.
Well, good placement there by AblazeOlive to get the stun, but unless they can get the wave crashing in, Iconic not going to get much done here. Oh, I love this from CoreJJ. Aware of this possible situation, just hanging out in Lantern Rage. It's going to be a 3v1, but CoreJJ is here to maybe save the day, and he knows he needs to get in there for Jensen and Golden Guardians, actually. The wave's cleared out, so don't even go for it. CoreJJ actually on the offense now. Shockwave is back and ready to go, but Jensen not quite in range to snag Iconic.
And this is such a great example in tracking your opponents. CoreJJ utilizing his mobility boots and resetting immediately after the topside play to go hover bottom. He's 1 step ahead of them. Alphari, though, a couple steps.
Base tanking the Graves ult, which Iconic I think mostly used to get away from the impending situation. Niles is ready with his own ulti, but it's only rank 1. Richard gonna get popped in mid for the ultimate distraction in both the team fight and the attempted Drake take that may be coming up. The Team Liquid playing behind their vision here. Jensen ready with the shockwave as always. TL is gonna push forward. The Rift Herald not gonna get too much done, unfortunately, for her. The Golden Guardians clear it out, and they are going to have some room to move in and try and contest, perhaps, for this objective. Niles does have the ulti, going to let it rip. The Nautilus isn't going to quite hit anyone else, but Armao does get moved up. Niles is in there. They're going to try and assassinate the enemy. Jungler Niles indeed is able to get it. Going to be a 4v5, but Niles now going to be killed off as Jensen with another great shockwave picks off the Ornn.
I love that confidence, though. I mean, no ward in the brush here on the side of Golden Guardians, but they know they got the hit on the follow-up CC. AblazeOlive follows that knock-up with the long-range Syndra stun, and now says, we got him, he's going in. Finishes off the kill. It's now 4v4 at the Drake.
War gravity gun, CoreJJ gets the follow-up hook, and Tactical slays another. And Golden Guardians are going to try and get the Dragon and get out of there. Only one smite in the pit, and it belongs to Iconic, and indeed the Drake will as well. Iconic also making his great escape. Blast comes out to safety, but Newbie and Stixxay, perhaps not so lucky. Stixxay, though, with a big outplay, finds the kill onto CoreJJ and then flashes out to safety, and Newbie going to run out of there as well as Jensen trying to chase him down. Jensen, no shockwave, but does have his flash, and the slow should be enough here, but Newbie, off to the wall he goes. Can he live? The answer is no, as Jensen is able to seal yet another kill.
And the Dragon is nice for Golden Guardians, but it's not going to mean a whole lot because you look at the game state and they're not going to be in a position to force Dragon stacking themselves. They do have the strong team fight with Ornn and Nautilus, but they're starting to hemorrhage so much gold, so much power to Team Liquid that Team Liquid will have full setup of these side lanes and should be able to control the map, which leads into your vision. Here's another look at it though. I just still like, seeing the fact right on your screen how there is just no hesitation. It's full killer instinct from this Ornn. Niles goes right in, follows up the CC combo for the headbutt. Unfortunately for him, Ornn is not an assassin, is not have that much mobility. So if you flash in like that, then all the ranged carries here on Team Liquid do take him down. Then, though, the start here, this is where Olive gets locked up. It is tactical with the gravity snare that's able to make this play for Team Liquid. And just that one snare on the key carry means everything. You lose your mid laner there, it allows Team Liquid to flood in and pick up the extra kills on the back here. Despite Stixxay making that great play and getting the extra kill, which I love, and the escape flashing out, Newbie won't be so lucky. So it's just Iconic and Stixxay that live after the fact, in addition to getting that Dragon for themselves. Regardless of how well they were able to try and play the aftermath, the fact that AblazeOlive got picked off here on the Syndra to start it out was critical and allowed Team Liquid to push right up. Now they've got the 4-1, and they're not going to stop.
Yeah, 5,000 gold ahead for Team Liquid. Mid outer tower down, mid tier 2 under fire. Probably not going to last too much longer either here as Iconic at least keeping the KDA nice and steady. 1-0-2 right now. Oh, I spoke so too soon. I've cursed him. Iconic will be slain by CoreJJ.
CoreJJ with the timing on there. As soon as Jensen Scott, I hit him, but CoreJJ's hook is already in the air. Right out of your shockwave displacement into the death sentence of CoreJJ.
Ooh, good interrupt. Killer Instinct in, and that's a great shutdown for Stixxay. Golden Guardians still have life in them yet, but Armao starting to hurt with these spears.
Yeah, I was about to compliment Team Liquid on doubling Iconic's deaths for the tournament, and yet really good rebuttal. This Golden Guardians team always looking for the counterplay, always looking for a kill for themselves. Landing a hook of his own there. Newbie was able to follow up on that one.
All right, well, Niles clears this wave out. Jensen's actually been the one side landing for most of this game, but does want to stay respectful with players dropping off of the map. He's got 11 stacks in the book right now as well. Majai's very much gold efficient and has the extra speed as well, on top of the Leandries, which of course is the mythic of choice here for Jensen this game. So Team Liquid continuing to snowball further and further ahead. Golden Guardians with some good looks, but they'll need to have, again, putting the team fight to good use here around a major objective. It's not enough to get 1 or 2 picks, even though they do look very nice. And I noticed this one, by the way.
Just quickly on the Leandries, when you're facing the Ornn team, Ornn and Nautilus, I love that too. There's that, what I was talking about though, shockwave displacement into death sentence while Iconic is in the animation of firing off his ult. He can't do anything because that CC chain is just so clean. And yet, W lands here for Stixxay. The Lantern goes out, but as soon as he starts to take the Lantern, AblazeOlive, perfect timing. If you hit him right as he takes it, he starts the move block here with the Lantern. It gets overridden by the Syndra stun, allowing Newbie to follow that one up. And that's some really clean play there from AblazeOlive to get a counter kill for themselves. Too bad that it doesn't actually amount to much because they still lose out on the mid pressure as Team Liquid barrels through. Teleport comes in. He wants to make another big play.
Yeah, it's AblazeOlive hit. Niles also ready with the ulti. There it goes. The own horn is blown. Who's the pick? It's going to be tactical for the look, but Armao, the only one to get CC'd up. CoreJJ again ready with the clutch lights as the Lantern out to pluck tactical back to safety.
And now they've got priority on mid. Should be able to answer that tower. Regardless of missing and whiffing the Syndra stun this time around, they still get some gold for themselves, still are able to push Team Liquid off of retreating back from secondary turret taken. And this is in setup for a decently big Ocean Dragon. Number 3 doesn't give you the big bonus, but it does come with the added pressure that can sometimes afford you better positioning, which means a lot.
Oh, good hook again from CoreJJ. Now it's going to be forced to flush out, charges off to safety as well. But Alphari busy split pushing in the top side of the map with the Hydra and the Divine Syndra. Someone going to have to go and answer this, and Golden Guardians going to make a real iffy trade here for this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, I like the macro here from Team Liquid. They're going to say, okay, you want to go and set up your Ocean Soul? Well, we're going to give you 2 decision points. Baron or top inhibitor turrets.
There's no jungler here. They have to go. CoreJJ, they're going to almost get the hook. Dragon's going to go down. That's the green light for Armao to just smite this Baron at his leisure. And indeed, Team Liquid will collect both the top part and the Baron here as they have full control of this side of the map. Alphari even slowing down newbie, looking to get the parlays moving in. That barrel almost going off there as newbie's going to be forced to fight, but a fight he can't win here as Niles is ready to go, but he doesn't have the ulti. 3-man shockwave from Jensen is tactical, lets it rip in the front side, and AblazeOlive is doing what he can. Armao is low, but Niles is slain. AblazeOlive will die as well, and it's going to be the ace as tactical. He's popping off in the team fight. Iconic. The KDA just keeps dropping as Team Liquid going to grab the Bud Light ace.
Oh my goodness. Team Liquid style on him with the macro first and the team fight right after. Everybody from Golden Guardians finds a quick path back to the fountain, and Team Liquid will find a quick path to their second win.
Looking a lot cleaner here as Golden Guardians outmatched, I think maybe as we expected, but still had some good moments. But it's Team Liquid all day here for this game at least, as they'll take down the Nexus towers. Newbie just going to hex flash around the world just for some funsies. Not nearly as KDA minded as Iconic perhaps there as Niles is ready with the ulti. Never sees a fight he doesn't like that you have to love from any team. As Golden Guardians, they'll keep them out of the Nexus for now. That's a good stunt onto Tactical. They need to finish off the job, but can't quite do it just yet. An actual 3v5 with super minions and the Baron as CoreJJ can do no wrong. Plucks AblazeOlive out of the sky and gives Armao yet another kill as Iconic. Going to try and defend the Nexus this time, but I don't think it's possible. Golden Guardians doing what they can. They're pulling minions away. They're trying to taunt Team Liquid away from this Nexus. Stixxay going to make the big play, but the shockwave onto himself from Jensen lets him live with a sliver of HP, and Iconic continues to rack up death as Team Liquid are playing with their food. Newbie in the fountain is going to get pot shots fired in, but ultimately Team Liquid will do what we expected and pick up their second win of the tournament.
25-23. It's still ticking. Keep going. I was trying to get a good end game clock there. Regardless, that is going to be an end to our weekend, our first weekend of the LCS lock-in tournament. Ton of fun here. We've seen so many stories evolving. You know, some of the big stars coming over, even struggling early on. A lot of the rookies having breakout performances. So I'm definitely excited for week number 2 here to try and follow up. Golden Guardians do drop this one. Regardless, though, I think they've had a really good showing as everybody placed them hard 10th. And they had really competitive games in the first couple that they had the first couple days. This one, though, Team Liquid just took care of business.
Yeah, like you said, you know, the money mountain versus the, you know, I guess just the wallet you find on the street that maybe has a couple bucks in it. Like, it was going to be an uphill battle regardless for Golden Guardians, but I think they did show some promise here in this weekend and even in this game. But Team Liquid continuing to show that they are one of the best, a super classy team, and looking scarier than ever. And I just have to keep saying it every time we watch Team Liquid play, Kobe. Like, what can't CoreJJ do?
True. We're going to have to put him to some tests here. I feel like this could be a spin-off series.
League of Legends.
This will be a spin-off series where we think up these crazy tasks for him to try and pull off. And CoreJJ still manages to do it. Honestly, he's got one of the best stories. I love how he came over you know, to NA, learned from Kiwi Kid, had a role swap, went back to Korea, won a world championship, and then came to his real home.
Yeah, I think also like some just good moments. Jensen still looking like, hey, by the way, Orianna is my most played champion of all time, and I'm really good at it. AblazeOlive again, like tried to tussle in the lane, but I think Jensen just too aware, too intelligent with how he's playing with his teammates, and also just extremely accurate with every shockwave. And Alphari, it wasn't like maybe the big carry GP game we would have wanted, but still looking clean as ever, and like he's meshing with this team maybe faster than we could have expected. So a great effort across the board for Team Liquid, and a very classy looking win for them there. But with the weekend's games are wrapped up, it means we have to award our first MasterCard Player of the Week. And for the kickoff of Lock-In, that accolade goes to Evil Genius's Impact.
Honestly, Impact has been a beast. A lot of these big plays. Renekton, everybody will be remembering some of these ones. Heals right back up to full. He has done so much because a lot of times, especially at the beginning of the year, Impact gets kind of relegated and people talk about weak side player. Yeah, he's great shot calling, he's great tank player, but they have not shied away from putting him on Renekton, on carry top sides, and he has rewarded them. The tournament buff for Impact can be applied to beginning of season tournaments just as well as it can be applied to playoffs later on, and he has hit the ground running. Really strong performances from him and the rest of this Evil Geniuses team. I want to give a quick shout out as we're talking about them to Deftly, because he received a lot of criticism when the lineup was announced and has performed quite well alongside Impact, who definitely deserves that and led the way.
Yeah, look, we'll probably say the story 1,000 times at this point, but I think it is worth reiterating, especially since Evil Geniuses are the only team left without a loss in their tournament so far. Impact and Igna would have been much bigger news if, like, Alphari, Sorta, and Perks didn't exist, I suppose. But I think Impact showing that, hey, don't forget the players that have been around for a while that have continued to perform at the top level in North America, because Evil Geniuses and Impact especially more than deserving of that Player of the Week.
Definitely true. And crocodiles are not lizards. We'll classify reptiles from now on. Everybody will follow the new guidelines. Don't worry. We'll make
Learn
sure.
something new every weekend. Have to love it here on LCS Lock-In. After the break, though,